I will be taking you through the CTGF dashboard today. So CTGF stands for Clinical Trial Governance Framework. I'm sure some of you, if not most of you, would have received a request to provide the 2023 data for the clinical trials conducted at your own LHD. I will take you through some of the basic functionalities that actually comes with the dashboard. For example, the filterings, the sorting, the full screen, the exporting, and how to clear the filters. I would like to start by pointing my mouse to the top right-hand corner of the dashboard. You see there are a few sort of functions and buttons on the top right-hand corner. I'm not sure whether everyone will see these. If you do, great. If you don't, please do let me know. But depending on your permissions that you've got as a user in Regis, you may or may not see these. But in general, you should see the refresh, the share button, and the export button as well. So there's a manage dashboards. So the manage dashboard is really for administrators, for for example the Regis team, to manage the administration side of the dashboard. Naming, adding a new dashboard, setting permissions, that kind of thing. So I probably won't go into that because you probably won't be using that a lot. So the refresh button. So this acts as a like your F5 button on your keyboard. So basically just refreshing this particular dashboard. If you didn't intend to set a certain filter, but you would like to see sort of the latest data. So what it does is when it refreshes, it just gets the latest version of the data set for you and populate that in the dashboard. So this little arrow button pointing to the right is the share button. So if you like to share this particular dashboard with your colleague or someone that you know, a user within Regis, you can share by clicking this button here. Type in the Regis username ID, so their email address. You'll be able to share this dashboard with them. So for example, if I type in the email address here, someone who's a Regis user, the name will pop up. You select that particular person, and then there's a share button at the bottom where you can actually share this dashboard with them. Okay, you see this export to button here. If I click on it, you have the option to export to PDF, as an image, or as a CSV file. So what I generally do is to, if I did want to further manipulate the data, what I'll do is I'll export this to a CSV. If you know, some of the basic Excel knowledge, you will be able to manipulate the data a little bit further. But you don't have to. It's entirely up to you. So all the basic filters should, I've made available for you to use. But if you did want to, if you do know a little bit about Excel, what you can do is click on this button. And what you can do is just click export. And what you see on the screen right here will be exported to a CSV file. I don't know whether you've noticed. So there's the export button, which I was just showing you just now. And then you see there's another export button within the data grid. So the main difference between clicking this overall export and this individual export button is that when you click on the overall, it exports everything from within the dashboard. But if you clicked on this export button within the data grid, it will only export this particular table here. So let me show you by opening the output file once you have exported it. So it separates different sections into different worksheets. So for example, if I have filters, I have the legend. So on the right hand side, I have a data table. So what it does is it separates all these different sections into worksheets. You can look at different worksheets for different categories of everything that you see from within the dashboard. So, like I said previously, you have the individual export button. So if you see it, you can actually click on it. You can export it to a text file for a text-based, like a control widget. So if it was a table, when you export it, if you export to an Excel, you'll get an Excel file. But there is also another button which you may or may not know. If you click on this maximize button, it will actually full screen that particular control for you. So if you are someone like me who is in need of a pair of glasses, sometimes having this maximize button is actually helping me to look at all these different data fields, columns, rows that seems to be squashed together. So if you like to maximize, you're welcome to go ahead to click on this button here. Since I'm talking about the basics, I'm sure most of you would know, but in order to navigate to this particular dashboard, what you would do is on the left-hand side menu, there's a menu item called a dashboard. Click on the dashboard. This particular section will load, and on your left-hand side you have our different types of dashboards been made available for you to look at, that we're looking at right now for this Lunch and Learn session. It's the REGIS CTGF version 1. Of the columns that you see in front of you were from the actual report requirements from some of the research officers that we worked with a few months ago. So for everyone's benefit and for the completeness of this Lunch and Learn, I'll be going through all the details of the columns. First, you may have noticed that we've started a structured dashboard design where there's a legend or a glossary, if you like, on the left-hand side, where this is to address the absence of help text. So the legend that I'm referring to, or the glossary, is this particular widget on the left-hand side, where you see, all the conditions that I've used, all the statuses, all the exclusions, or the columns that's been included in the output table. So that's hopefully that's all been explained there. If you see or if you wish this legend or help text kind of section to have more sort of meaningful description, or if you could include a little bit more or detailed description, please certainly reach out to me. I will try to do that for you. Because it's a structured design, this legend and glossary actually helped me to tell you all the conditions that I have been using when generating the output. So there's no uncertainty for you. So just on the right-hand side of the legend, you see a series of columns right down over here. So I'll be going through them with you as well. I'll probably start by going through the first column. It's called the ethics identifier. So for any site applications that's been included in this particular table, if you see there's a ethics identifier in this column, so what I can do is I'll show you here. So for example, the very first one is 2023 ETH 02872 corresponds to this SSA identifier. So if you see the ethics identifier corresponding to the SSA, this ethics was actually being approved or within New South Wales. For the ones that you don't see, so for example here, if you don't see the ethics ID within this column against the SSA ID, that means the ethics application was approved outside of New South Wales. So I just wanted everyone to be clear on that. So application identifier, as you may have noticed, you only see STE identifiers within this column. That's because for this particular dashboard, this CTGF dashboard, we've been requested to create a dashboard that generate or gather a list of all the clinical trial SSAs within a specific time range. So I'll go through the filters up the top in a minute, but I just wanted to address to you all that you're not going to find ethics applications within this table. They'll only ever be STE SSA applications. So the third column, the application title, is quite self-explanatory. The clinical trial phase is detailed in this column. Status, the current status of this particular application. So as you can see for this particular the very first one is the status is actually closed post analysis, and the other one is called authorized. So what I've tried to do was to gather the latest status for a particular application, and the conditions and the rule that you can use as a period filter up the top. I'll just give you a little bit of a snippet. So the date range that you may choose from this filter, this is something to do with the status that you see in within this column here. So this period is the authorization period. It doesn't actually correspond to, or will always correspond to this particular status here. So sometimes you may ask, authorization was actually on a certain day, why has it been included, or why hasn't been included? That's probably why this status column actually tells you if it was authorized, this current status actually corresponds to that particular day. If it was actually the status changed to close post analysis, this day actually corresponds to this particular status. So it does not necessarily means this is the authorization date. This only corresponds to what the status you actually see on your screen right now. So not always the authorized status. Only when you see the authorized status, the current status date corresponds to it. The next column down is the sponsor type, and then the actual sponsor. And then the next one down is the PI name, PI email. Again, this is the current status date. We also have the ethics pathway, department, the particular HCHEC, site. This is the program type, whether it's a site or an ethic, it'll always be site because these are all the SSA, STE applications within this table. So the study type, total ETH, so this is the total time for the corresponding ethics application. So some of them will be blank, as you may know. If it wasn't actually authorized within New South Wales, you're not going to see a number here. The total STE, so this is the total time for the SSA from submission to authorization. So I just wanted to take this opportunity to remind everyone again, you are welcome to use these columns, figures, in order to clean up anything that's no longer relevant to your institution. So if you see anything that for example, this top one here, minus 1,662. So if these are the ones that your research office is no longer managing, or it's been somehow changed to terminated, or any other status, this is the right time to manage these as well, so that you're only working with relevant sort of applications that are of concern within your LHDs. Probably the last part of this lunch and learn is to go through with you the filters, the filter settings that I have also added to the dashboard, so that you can filter this particular dashboard to the desired result, or if you have any specific sort of rules and conditions that you want the output to be, you're welcome to use these filters. So the filters I've given you, for example, are these approved, authorized conditions, closed post analysis, completed, submitted, suspended. So these are all the inclusive statuses that I have included. So you may have a question that so what are the statuses that have been excluded? You can check the details under the legends. For example, anything that's not approved, not authorized, ineligible, abandoned, terminated, declined, deleted, or anything migrated, halted, or withdrawn. So these are the statuses that I haven't included or excluded from this particular table. So if you only ever want to look at authorized, you are welcome to do that. Or if you want to check, I shouldn't have anything completed. So you can select the completed, filter all those out, and then make the determination to see whether are there any further actions that you would like to carry out against these applications. So again, it's a bit of a additional cleanup exercise for you as well, and hopefully by providing these filters for you, it makes your life easier. Okay, so the second filter that you can use is the review pathway. So I have not actually encountered many low-risk clinical trials, but if you do see, for example, a low-risk clinical trial, there might be an issue. So it gives you an opportunity to verify those. I can definitely see something a little bit odd here. Apparently, we've got some applications that contains both great and low risk and low risk. So yeah, that's another obvious red flag as well. So I'm not going to click on it because I don't want to put you on the spot, but that would be, this would be a great opportunity for you to look at these. So when you log in to Regis, whether it's after this lunch and learn, and navigate to this CTGF version 1 dashboard, click on the review pathway. If you see anything like this, yeah, I think it's probably time for you to go in and see what the actual problem is. Yeah, because there shouldn't be two review pathway for a given application. The third filter that I provided for you is the authorization period. So any date that you see that you can filter from and to, this is to do with the authorization cutoff date. So not necessarily pointing to what you see on the screen. So this is only only you will know what sort of period that you want the cutoff dates to be. From maybe the 1st of January 2023 to December the 30th 2023. So that's entirely up to you. So this is the custom. When you click on the set filter, that's the custom date that you can set. But for the default, I've defaulted the dashboard authorization period to be the first of the 1st 2023 and the 31st of December 2023. And there's an option for you to use as an entire range that's just since the inception of Regis to the present day. I know that this sounds a bit counterintuitive, but I would advise against using the entire range is only because due to performance issues for some smaller research offices, when you click an entire range, it may be okay, it may work, but for anyone who's been managing hundreds and hundreds of applications every year, clicking on this entire range may result a timeout error, which causes the dashboard not to function properly. So if you are actually trying to generate your data report for CTGF, so I would advise you to use either the 2023, so that's the entire 2023 period, or using the set filter if you only wanted to see, I just want to see the last quarter, or 3 or 4 months in particular within 2023 or 2022. You can do that as well. So setting a authorization period day range, it actually will not only generate the data set quicker, but also just making sure that you won't be getting any unexpected sort of performance-related error. The fourth filter is the study type. Study type, as you all will be aware, all the different study type categories that a researcher can choose when they're filling in their applications. So if there's any particular ones that you only want to select and see in the output table, you can select multiples as well. So you can do that, or you can basically default is all. But if you don't want to include all of them, you can select any specific ones that you desire. Okay, so the fifth one is the sponsor type. Again, if you only want to filter on a particular sponsor type, you can do that. Again, this is for some of your cleanup exercises. So if you do see some of these, multiple sponsor type category, I would advise you to, select that particular filter and have a look at the application. You don't have to go back to this search bar to bring you to the application. So as you can see, all the application identifier actually hyperlinked. So if you want to look at any one of these that you see on the screen, just click on the hyperlink. It takes you straight to the application. So what you can do is then go into the classifications and just to make sure everything checks out. That's all. This is a drop down where if it has or contains more than the site applications, for example, ethics applications as well, you can select one of those. But because I've only included all the SD applications, you only see the site as being the only selection. Okay, so I have taken you through all the columns, all the filters, the legend, all the basic functionalities. This particular dashboard, includes all the ethics applications that have been approved outside of New South Wales as well. So I don't know whether you will all receive the same requirements. So this is what we've heard, that being one of the requirements, because they do want to look at the overall of all the clinical trials that's been conducted within your institution. So that's including all the SSAs that had their ethics applications approved outside of New South Wales as well.